Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Monday, April 3rd. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've continued with storms moving across the Great Basin, bringing above normal precipitation now to the northern third of the region over the last 7 days. We've also seen well above normal precipitation in the Sierra, and over the last 2 weeks, we've seen above normal precipitation really over the eastern two-thirds of the region. New snowfall over the last 72 hours has been significant over parts of northern Utah up into Wyoming, and also back west into central Idaho, where many areas have seen over 6 to 12 inches or more of new snowfall. The snow depth is indicated on the right, and by the current snowpack map, everywhere is obviously doing very well in the west with snowpack this year, especially across Nevada and Utah, where all areas are really above 200 or even 300% of normal. Many areas are setting new records for all-time high snowfall in parts of Utah, Nevada, and the Sierra. Further north, snowpack has been improving with the recent storms and is now above 120 or 140% of normal across Idaho and Wyoming. The satellite loop from this morning shows a cold trough of low pressure dominating the west. This will continue moving eastward and provide strong winds for the southern and eastern portions of the Great Basin today, along with new accumulating snowfall in the low elevations and the mountains, anywhere from Utah north up into Idaho and Wyoming and parts of Nevada. Also, very cold temperatures for the time of year. We'll likely see some record low-high temperatures going through the next couple of days with this system. The general weather pattern shows that trend with this system continue moving eastward. Obviously, significant fire potential will be low region-wide for the foreseeable future. Transport winds will be strongest over southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin, and you can see those wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, especially in the Arizona Strip and over southern and eastern Utah. Otherwise, breezy northwest winds gusting in the 30s are likely over really the rest of the Great Basin. Mixing heights will remain moderate to high. Relative humidity will be lower over southern areas until that precipitation works its way south. However, still no concerns with fire potential. Otherwise, dispersion, obviously with the stronger winds, will be quite good across the region. On Tuesday, this area of low pressure moves east into the Rockies. Still cold northwest flow and wraparound moisture will allow snow to continue in Idaho, Wyoming, and much of Utah. We'll also see some lake effect snow off the Salt Lake in parts of Utah as well, just with the cold temperatures. Winds on the backside of this low will still remain breezy with gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range with northwest winds over much of central areas of the Great Basin, and mixing heights will remain quite good. Relative humidity remains similar to what we'll see today with lower conditions in the south, much higher as you go further north with the precipitation, and good dispersion. As we move into Wednesday, this system now moves well off to the east. We start to see a ridge of high pressure building off along the west coast. We still will have some moisture pushing east ahead of an area of low pressure well off the coast, so still some cloud cover over western areas and cold temperatures are expected. Winds will significantly decrease by Wednesday. Mixing heights, however, will remain relatively high, and relative humidity will really remain similar to, again, what we'll see over the next 2 days. Otherwise, dispersion will start to decrease as those winds decrease, and we'll start to see some inversions develop, but probably nothing overly strong initially. Otherwise, temperatures with this system moving through, again, will be quite cold. We'll see highs only reaching the 30s to maybe 40s over the northern two-thirds of the Great Basin. Even over southern areas of Utah, we'll see those cold temperatures with highs in the 50s further south. We will see a gradual warm-up from mid to late week, and by Friday, we'll see highs in the 50s and 60s over much of Nevada and Utah. Still some cooler temperatures up north in the 30s and 40s in Idaho and Wyoming. Also, morning low temperatures will be quite cold. We will see low temperatures in the teens to 20s region-wide with the exception of the very far south as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. So with this new snowfall, again, we'll still have those cold temperatures making for slick roads as well. As we go into later this week, we will see that gradual warm-up in the afternoon along with the improvement in temperatures in the morning with highs generally in the lows generally in the 20s and 30s, but we will see some pockets of teens, certainly, especially in the higher elevations. Forecast amount of precipitation over the next few days. Obviously, the heaviest precipitation is over Utah, especially in the higher terrain, but also in the valleys, and parts of Idaho and Wyoming with lesser precipitation as you move further west. We do have winter storm warnings up for much of the Great Basin, especially in Utah and further north. So again, we will see multiple feet of new snow in the higher elevations with this precipitation. As we move into Thursday, the ridge starts to move over the central and eastern areas of the Great Basin, but with this trough pushing into the northwest coast, we will still have some moisture pushing into northern and western areas. Otherwise, dispersion will remain good as winds kick up in the north as the system approaches. The system will move through on Friday, so we'll see clouds and some lighter showers. Nothing as heavy as what we'll see today or early in the week, but we will again see some showers, especially over the northern half of the region, and a mix of rain and snow showers. And then going into the weekend, this system starts to exit, and by Sunday we start to see the stronger ridge really start to emerge with just some moisture spilling over the top of the ridge into Idaho, but we will see much warmer temperatures going into the weekend region-wide. Precipitation accumulation from Friday through Sunday, again, generally light and focused up north with that ridge building in. And then as we move into early next week, we will see much drier conditions region-wide. The 7-day total precip, obviously much of that falling here in the next few days, is indicated here. So the only areas that will really remain outside of significant precipitation will be southern and western Nevada, and even parts of the Arizona Strip and far southern Utah that might just get some lighter showers. The 8 to 14-day outlook, finally a big change from what we've been seeing over the last, what seems like forever. The 8 to 14-day outlook from April 10th through the 16th shows warmer and drier conditions for much of the West. Again, this is a definite pattern shift from what we've been seeing. We will still see storms move through, but again, we are seeing a pattern change going into the middle of the month. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Wednesday for the latest updates.